Have you ever felt burned out? I mean, as a business owner, so many times we neglect to reset and recharge, and we just go, and never stop until we burn out. Today, in this clip, my friend Kyle, who's been a business owner for over a decade, talks about and shares some advice on how he finds the reset button and the recharge button, and how he looks for balance and rhythm in his life to be the best version of himself for his business and for his family, and even just for himself.
That came recently because I think the balance word is thrown out a lot, and I think that's tough as an entrepreneur. Like, it's hard to find balance, true balance. Like, I think you have to find. So what I've recently heard through a book I read and through this kind of leadership retreat that I got into, it's like rhythm is what you're trying to find. Because like rhythm, like there's gonna be times where your squad, your family, your team knows that you're like, hey, you're grinding. Like there's times where you gotta wake up at 5 and you gotta do stuff till 11 o'clock at night. That's gonna happen. But finding the rhythms is really, really important. I think putting the big stones, you've heard that analogy. If not, it's like you got to put the big stones in first. And so like for me, that's faith, family, finances, and fishing's a close fourth, but really faith, family, and finances. So you got to put those stones in first and make sure that those are carved out, because that's going to allow you to do the other things that you do really, really well, and make time for those, and then fill it in with the little pebbles and the gravel, and then otherwise your bucket's going to get full way too early. So I think that's how I carve it out, is by making sure that those three are the priority. And just because that obviously finance has to be in there, because that's, to me, that's my work and that's my career, and it's something that, like my calling too.
Yeah. You love the outdoors. You love fishing. You love hunting. Like, you love being outside and God's creation. And but how does that play to you as a business owner? And I'll even say as a dad and a husband, like, how does that really relate?
Yeah. And it's changed. I think prior to having, a kid, it was like that's definitely like, that's your escape. It's like, that's again, I loved getting out there. I loved being where my cell phone bar went to 0, I knew I was like going to be able to really relax, it's like, that's how I could cut loose. And I do love being in the outdoors, fishing and hunting and just, camping, hiking, whatever that might be, and so like, you have to find time for it. I think that's where that rhythm is. You got to like schedule some of that time in, of course, like that's an important thing. And as the family starts to like that stuff, it makes it even better, because then you get to like, accomplish both of those things. So I think it's good to have something that you can connect from, but I think you got to make sure that you're not also like doing it to the point where you're like robbing the business and not giving your best at the business. So it's like, that's where it's like, you're finding that rhythm where you can, still do the things you like to do and make sure your health is important, but also, you don't want to go just sit at the computer and you're going to burn out. I mean, that's just, you got to have that stuff in there, because that is why entrepreneurship is great. Like, some people say you don't have a boss, when in reality you have a boss every time someone sends you an email, if you're in, working with customers, but you do have some more flexibility. And that's when it's like, really, you can work like, you can make one schedule, you might work 60 hours, and then the next week you might be able to find some time to schedule in the important stuff.